Welcome back my kings and queens, and welcome to this video where I will go ahead and show you how to create a side mirror. For this tutorial we're going to use the Audi R8 model, so if you want to follow exactly with this tutorial right here, I would recommend to use the R8 model, but of course you can use any car you want, as in this video I will show you the method on how to do this. And as we don't have any time to waste, let's jump right into this video. So right here you can see that the Audi R8 is almost done, and the only missing part that we need to create are the side mirrors. So let's go ahead and do this. What I like to do is to select the car body, press tab to go into the edit mode and take a vertex from a point around here, press shift and D to duplicate it, and I move this out just a little bit. And then with this vertex selected, I press P and click on selection to create a new object with only this vertex right here. Then press tab to go back into the object mode. In the outline at the right, you now have a new object called something.001, in my case paint.001, and I can rename this one to side mirror. Then with the side mirror selected, I can press tab again to go back into the edit mode of the side mirror, and in the reference image at the bottom right here, you can see the side mirror of the car that we're going to create. And in the first step, we're going to take this vertex and place it to this point right here. So select the vertex, press numpad 1 to go into the front view, and press Z to go into the wireframe mode, so that you can see the blueprint just a little bit better. And this blueprint right here is not really high quality, but you can see a line at a point around here, and this is the line that we're going to follow. So press G and move the vertex to a point around here, so somewhere onto the line. And then by pressing numpad 7 we can go into the top view, and from right here we can again see the blueprint line for the side mirror, and we can just press G to take this vertex and move this to this point right here, to the beginning of the side mirror. Don't place it too much to the left side, as we will create a banding later on, so a point around here is already enough. Then again, select this vertex right here, and in the next step we're going to extrude the vertex all the way to the end of this line right here, and you can do this by pressing E for extrude, and then move your mouse all the way so that the vertex that you're extruding can be placed to the end of the side mirror. And by the way, if you have problems following with this tutorial right here, I also have a full in-depth step-by-step course on creating a low poly car in Blender, so if you're interested in this, you can check out the first link in my description. Now with the edge that we have created, we are not matching with the blueprint line. Now in order to again match up with the blueprint line, we need to add in some loop cuts to this edge right here. You can add in a loop cut by pressing Ctrl and R and hover with your mouse over this edge right here, and then this yellow dot in the middle should appear. And as only one cut is not enough to match up with the blueprint line, you can scroll up your mouse wheel to add in some cuts to the loop cut, and scroll up your mouse wheel 2 times to add in 3 cuts. And when you see these 3 yellow dots, press left click to apply the loop cut. Then take the vertices and move them onto the blueprint line with G. Then in the reference image at the bottom, you can't really see how this area right here looks, but for this we of course have the blueprint line. So take this vertex right here, press E once to right here to create some sort of a banding, and then E once more all the way to the end of the blueprint line to this point right here. And just like this, the basic shape for the side mirror is already done. Then press numpad 1 to go back into the front view, and right here you can see that we are not matching up with the blueprint line, but when we go back into the top view, we are definitely matching up with the blueprint line, so the blueprint is drawn incorrectly. But as we're going to use the top view only as a reference, and the front and the back view for the modeling, we need to fix this up. And to do this, select this vertex right here, and then with Ctrl this one right here. Like this vertex right here got white, which means that this is the active element. And then when we press period to open up the pivot point menu, we can set the pivot point to active element. And then when we go back into the front view by pressing numpad 1, we can press S and then X to scale up these vertices on the x-axis away from the active element, which is this vertex right here. And just like this, we're matching up from the front view. And by taking a look from the top view, we're not quite matching up with the blueprint. But just like I said, we're only going to use this as a reference. The only thing that we need to do is to press S and Y and scale this up on the Y axis a little bit more, so that we match up with this line right here. Then as the next step, you can see in the reference image that these vertices right here that we have already created get extruded up to this point right here. And to do this, press A to select all of the vertices that you have. Press numpad 1 to go back into the front view, and right here you can see the line to which you need to extrude these vertices up. So press E and then Z to extrude these vertices only on the Z axis, and extrude them up onto this line right here. And as easy as that, you already have created this area right here. And when you take a look in the solid mode by pressing Z again, this is looking really good at this point right here. Then in the next step, you can take both of these vertices right here and press F to create a connection between these vertices. As in the next step, we will create this upper line right here. Rotate your view so that you can see the mirror from this perspective right here. And first add in 3 cuts to this point right here, as we have also added in 3 loop cuts at this line right here in the first step. So with these 3 cuts, press Ctrl numpad 1 to go into the back view and then move the vertices up until they match up with the blueprint line, so to these points right here. And after we have added in these 3 cuts at the first line right here, we have added in 1 more vertex to create the rounding. So with Ctrl and R, add in 1 more vertex to right here and move this up to match up with the vertex from the bottom. And as this edge right here is not looking really correct, let's go ahead and move it to the right side, and then take this vertex right here, move this to the right side, and move both of the other vertices a little bit to the right too, to match up with the blueprint line. Now if we rotate our view, you can see that these vertices right here look misaligned, and they actually are misaligned. So select all of these vertices right here, and with, for example, this vertex right here as the active element, you can press numpad 7 to go into the top view, press S, then Y and 0 to scale up all of the vertices to the same Y value as the active element. Press Z to go back into the wireframe mode so that you can see the blueprint line for the side mirror. And now to match up the vertices with the blueprint line on the exact same level, press Shift, Ctrl, Alt and S for the shrink tool, and as you can see that nothing changes, also go ahead and press Y so that you can shrink these vertices on the Y axis and move your mouse up to a point around here until these vertices right here match up with the blueprint line. If you then rotate your view and press Z to go back to the solid mode, you can see that these vertices right here are placed perfectly into the scene. Then in the next step, you can take these 4 vertices right here and press F to create a face. Then take these 2 vertices and press F all the way to the end. If we take a look from the side view and from the wireframe mode, you can see that we are not matching up with the blueprint line, so we need to add in a loop cut to right here and move this up. And if we go ahead and press Ctrl and R to right here, you can see that the loop cut goes all the way to the bottom, and this is actually not what we want, as we want the loop cut to stop at this point right here. So take this vertex right here and press H to hide this vertex, and when you then go ahead and press Ctrl and R to this point right here, the loop cut only goes to this point right here, which is exactly what we need. So press left click to apply the loop cut, and as you have added in some edges, you can then go ahead and slide the loop cut, but as you do not want to slide the loop cut, press right click to leave the loop cut in the middle. Press numpad 3 to go into the side view, press Z and go into the wireframe mode, and then move these vertices up and a little bit to the left to match up with the blueprint line. Press Z and go back into the solid mode. Press Alt and H to bring back the hidden vertex, and with this end gun right here, select these 2 vertices right here and press J to connect these vertices. Like this, you end up with a quad right here and a triangle right here, but this is not a problem. At the left side, we can also fill in the faces by adding in a loop cut to right here, and then again pressing right click as we do not want to slide it. Then we can select these 4 vertices right here and press F, and select these 3 vertices right here and press F to fill in the faces. Then we can continue on the bottom part of the side mirror, and we first need to create the area for the indicator. For this, we need to select all of the bottom vertices, and you can select all of the vertices easily by holding Alt and clicking on an edge right here to select the complete edge loop of vertices. Then press numpad 1 to go back into the front view, and press E and Z again to extrude it down to this point right here. And this area right here is enough for the indicator. As you can see that you have a banding in the indicator right here. We can also recreate the banding by selecting this vertex and then with Ctrl, for example, this vertex right here, so that this vertex again becomes the active element. Then press numpad 1 to go back into the front view and press S and X to scale this down on the X axis, and just like this, you've already recreated the banding. Then in the next step, just like on the top, we will first take these vertices right here and press F to connect the vertices, and then we have added in 3 loop cuts in the first step, so we will again add in 3 loop cuts to right here. Press Ctrl numpad 1 to go back into the back view, press Z and go into the wireframe mode and move the vertices down until they match up with the blueprint line. In this area right here, you cannot really see the blueprint line, so just try to follow with how you think the blueprint will look at this place right here. Just like we did on the top, we have added in one more vertex with a loop cut to this area right here. So again, do the same step and move this again to the right side, and then move the other vertices to the right too, to match up with the distance. Then again rotate your view, and you can already see that these vertices right here are not aligned with the vertices from the top. So with Alt, click on this edge right here, and then with Shift and Alt on this edge, for example right here, to select all of these vertices right here. With Shift, deselect this vertex and select this vertex again, so that this vertex right here becomes the active element. And then repeat the same step from the top view, so press S, Y and 0, and press Enter. And then press Shift, Ctrl, Alt and S and Y to move the vertices again onto the blueprint line to a point around here. And by rotating the view, this is looking perfect as it is right now. Then start by taking these 4 vertices right here and press F to create a face. Take these 2 vertices and press F all the way to the end. By taking a look from the side view, you again can see that we are not matching up with the blueprint line. And if we would go ahead and add in a loop cut to right here, it goes all the way to the top, which is not what we want. So again, take this vertex right here and press H to hide it. Then add in a loop cut to this area right here and go into the side view and move the loop cut to where it needs to be to match up with the blueprint line. Then press Alt and H to bring back the hidden vertex, and with this angle again, take both of these vertices right here and press J to connect these vertices to create a quad and a triangle. Move your view to this point right here so that you can select these 4 vertices right here and press F to create a face, and take these 3 vertices right here and press F to create another face. Alright, at this point right here, the basic side mirror is already recreated, and now we only need to create this bottom part right here. For this, with Ctrl and R, add in a loop cut to right here and press right click to leave it in the middle, and then you can press 2 to go into the edge selecting mode. Select both of these edges right here, press X and click on edges to create a hole. Press 1 to go back into the vertex select mode, and with Alt click on an edge right here to select all of these vertices right here. Press number 3 to go into the side view, press Z and go into the wireframe mode so that you can again see the blueprint line. Press E and Z and shoot it down just a little bit until you have a little bit of distance between both of these vertices right here, which matches up with the distance between both of these vertices right here. Then with Shift, deselect and select this vertex again so that this vertex right here becomes the active element. Press S, Z and type in 0 to scale down all of the vertices to the same Z value, and you can probably move these vertices a little bit to the right side. Then take a look from the front view by pressing number 1 and move them also to the left side to match up with the blueprint line. And right here you can see that you have a little bit of a diagonal edge right here. So again, with this vertex as the active element, press Shift, Ctrl, Alt and S and then Y to move the vertices on the Z axis to this point right here. And now we are completely matching up with the reference image. Then the only thing that is left to do is to press E and shoot it in all the way into the car body. Press number 3 to go into the side view and move these vertices to match up with the blueprint line. Take a look from the solid mode if all of the vertices have disappeared inside of the car body, and they have, so we're good to go. And now to recreate this part of the side mirror right here, with Alt click on this edge right here to select all of these vertices, and you can add in a bevel by pressing Ctrl and B, move your mouse and scroll up your mouse wheel 1 time to create 1 segment, and press left click to apply the bevel. Then with these 3 layers of vertices selected, press Ctrl numpad minus to decrease the selection so that only the inner vertices are selected. Press period again and change it to median point, and press S to scale down the vertices to recreate this area right here, just like we saw it on the reference image. Then at this reference image right here, you can see that we have to add in 1 more part to the side mirror. So let's go ahead and do this. Press Alt and A to first deselect all, and then with Alt click on an edge right here. And to first create this gap right here, press F to fill in the face, press I to insert the face to right here, then press E to extrude the face on the Y axis to this point right here. Then press E to extrude it again, or press right click to disable the extrusion, and then press S to scale the extruded vertices up to this point right here, and then E again to extrude them back to this point right here. And as easy as that, we have created the gap and the part that holds the mirror. An easy way to create the mirror is to first press I to insert the vertices to a point around here, as this is the frame for the side mirror, and then press I once more and set it to a point around here. Deselect and select this vertex right here and change the pivot point back to active element and move the vertices a little bit to the back and press S and X and then S and Y to scale these vertices just a little bit. And then with this face already selected, you can press P and click on selection to create a new object for the mirror itself. Alright my kings and queens, and just like this, we are already done with modeling the side mirror. This mirror right here, for example, also has an area for an indicator at this area right here, but I will go ahead and leave this up to you on how to create this. But in the background right here, you can see the topology of how I did it. If you should stumble upon problems creating this area right here, or any other side mirror, you can go ahead and join my Discord server and ask for help inside of one of the text channels. And if you're at this point interested in how to create a complete low poly car, I have created a complete step-by-step course on how to do this. So if you're interested in this, go ahead and check out the first link inside of my description. My kings and queens, I wish you all the best for the future, and we will see us in the next video.